Vegeta, what does the Scouter say about his... Vegeta, you okay, man? You're looking a little purple today. Do you need me to maybe, like...
Hey, how's it going? So, while I was making my last video on Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z, a new Dragon Ball game came out. And as we've seen in the past few years, Dragon Ball's been suffering from a decline in the games department, what with the subpar Battle of Z and the subpar Ultimate Tenkaichi. I've all but given up hope that we will ever again see another good Dragon Ball game. And then suddenly, a beam of light shines down upon Geatland as the clouds part to reveal Dragon Ball Z XenoVerse, and I've finally gotten my hands on it. Digitally. I got a digital copy. My GameStop was all sold out of physical ones. Look, it doesn't matter how I got it. I was desperate. What's that, chinchilla? So, how does this work? Do you just kind of like eat it or something? Or maybe I just... Why is everything explode? So the game starts off with yet another sweet AMV set to the same Chala Head Chala cover from Battle of Z. It's a cool song, I'm not complaining, but you know what they say. Variety is pretty good. Anyways, the story starts off immediately, putting you right in the middle of some of Dragon Ball Z's most iconic battles. However, something sinister is afoot, as a mysterious energy is overtaking Goku's enemies. Trunks notices this disturbance in time and uses the Dragon Balls to summon forth a warrior who can help him stop it. And this is where things get awesome. The main story stars your very own custom character. Now, this isn't the first game to let you do this. Ultimate Tenkaichi had a hero mode that let you create a custom character, but it was incredibly limited as it only let you play as a male Saiyan, and the story was just the worst. Before that, we had Dragon Ball Online, which gave players the option to not only use a male Saiyan, but also a Namekian, a Majin, and yes, a woman. But it never came out in English. So there's that. XenoVerse, however, expands upon the character creation even further, adding Frieza's race and... humans. Yay! Now, most people would probably start off with a Saiyan when they first play this game because, well, let's be honest. But I got my fill of Saiyans back in the Ultimate Tenkaichi days, so I think I'm gonna go with the new Frieza race. Technically, the species name is Arcosax or something, but I don't think anyone actually cares. The character customization here is incredible. Each race has about 10 different selections for eyes, mouth, hair, well, bald in this case, but I mean he wants hair. Like, badly. Oh, and your entire palette is customizable, though the lighting can give the brighter colors a weird glow. Afterwards, you can select your character's voice. But the only one that actually matters here is Male Voice 8, because to my surprise, it's actually literally the real Takahata 101 from Team 4-Star. They seriously let you play as Takahata 101 doing the Ghost Nappa voice. This is awesome! It truly shows how closely connected Dragon Ball is to its fanbase. Next up, you get to pick your character's name. I'm gonna call this guy Synonym for Cold. Ironically, of course, because as you'll find, most of the people who make Frieza Race characters give them names which are generally uninspired. But we'll get to that later. For now, Trunks needs our help. You see, this Trunks is a member of the Time Patrol, a group of warriors devoted to protecting all of time from those who want to set history off course. For you see, a new dark power is awakening, so he summons you to Toki Toki City so you can put a stop to it. The city itself functions more as an interactive main menu, and when you're in the online lobby, it looks a lot like a 3D environment DeviantArt. From here you can participate in online and offline battles, go shopping, customize your character, and a lot more. You can also outfit your custom character with a ton of different costumes. However, the costumes you wear also affect your stats, so most of the time you'll see people wearing specific outfits just to get the power boost they give, and ignore some really cool outfits just because they're considered weaker. This could easily be improved by having a costume customization shop or something where you could buy stat boosts for your outfit, as in the post-game, money is incredibly easy to come by and there's not really much to spend it on. But on the bright side, accessories don't give you stat boosts, which means Synonym can finally fulfill his dream of having a full head of hair. Completely original hairstyle, do not steal. You also get to pick a Z-Soul, which can give you an ability or other stat boost, but more importantly, they're all named after memorable lines from the show. Who can forget such important lines as, "Why you? Over here," and of course, "Wow, look at you! How cool!" Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with "I hope you get reborn as someone good someday," because not only does it give decent stat boosts, but it's also a line that I actually remember. You also get to pick super and ultimate moves based off of moves from the anime. These moves are actually really cool since each one is unique rather than other recent Dragon Ball games where each special attack felt the same. And there is a wide variety of moves, so if you remember a move you saw on the show, chances are you'll find it here. Anyway, time to get back into the story. The game has you jumping around the most iconic battles from the series, spanning from the first battle against Raditz all the way up to the Battle of Gods movie. Along the way are some really cool twists and turns, and I'd feel bad spoiling everything that happens. But I can say that the game never really takes itself too seriously, which is definitely a good thing. I've seen a few Dragon Ball fanfics and side stories, and they always seem to prioritize the fights and the plots over the characters. Dragon Ball has always been lighthearted, and the story was always shaped around the characters themselves. And the characters here are amazing. The story borrows some Dragon Ball Online characters, Dragon Ball Z characters, and original characters, and mixes them all together so that in the end, they're really what makes the story so fun. Now, if you weren't a fan of Dragon Ball Z going in, then the story probably won't have as much of an impact on you. But if you're a huge fan of the balls like I am, you'll have a great time. My only complaint is that there weren't enough 2D cutscenes. Throughout the entire game, there are only like 4 or 5 of these, which is a shame because they're so fantastic. But you know what? I'll let it slide. Like Ultimate Tenkaichi's Hero Mode, this game will leave you on a cliffhanger, but unlike that game, I can actually see this one getting a sequel. As far as gameplay goes, it feels a lot like Battle of Z, but more cleaned up. Controlling your character is a lot smoother, and you have a better idea of where your attacks are going to land. Though, locking onto a specific character can be a bit obnoxious. Fortunately, it's nothing like Ultimate Tenkaichi's gameplay. It's all skill-based, and each character and class plays differently. In fact, you can even level up and increase any of your stats. There's a lot of room for experimentation, and the community is already filled with a bunch of awesome suggestions, though I still prefer building a character myself. That being said, there's a lot less teamwork than there was in Battle of Z, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I praised Battle of Z for having each character be good at a certain role like in an RPG, but that also meant that a weak teammate would hold you back, which was ultimately the biggest crux of that game's single-player campaign. Here you're not forced to rely on the AI to pull their own weight, which is beautiful. I also had a lot of fun playing around with the different super and ultimate attacks because, as I said, each one is useful in its own ways. Generally, you'll want moves that work well with not only each other, but with your character's build. There's really a lot to think about here, which I find super appealing. And if you ever want to take a break from the story, Toki Toki City has a ton of cool things to try. A majority of your time will be spent on parallel quests, a series of custom what-if missions that you can take on with people from around the world. While in the multiplayer lobby, you can chat with whoever else is in your room by using some of the world's most specific preset phrases, such as, "I'm off to make a mix." Who says that? No one should ever say that. Clearing these missions can possibly net you a new super attack, costume pieces, Z-Souls, or crafting items. Oh yeah, there's crafting in this game, but it's fucking stupid. I should probably mention that trying to go for a specific super attack can be ridiculous. It's all RNG based, but it's layered RNG. What I mean is, some of these moves have a crazy low drop rate, but some moves don't drop at all unless you fulfill certain conditions such as beating it within a given time limit, and that can unlock an additional ending for your mission, which is signaled by the warning message. But even if you meet those conditions, the additional part of the battle still might not happen. With that, on top of the low drop rates, you might find yourself spending hours trying to unlock a specific move. Or it might take 5 minutes. It's all RNG based. So if you want to collect every skill in the game, you're going to need a lot of patience. And while I was editing this video, a new update came out that increased the rate that the alternate ending for the battle happens. Which would have been good to know before I wrote the script. But hey, I'm not complaining because I am actually noticing that these alternate endings are happening a lot more often. Good job listening to the feedback, guys. And once you have the moves you want, you can try the PvP. It's fun to try out, but nothing really groundbreaking. You can do 1-on-1, 2-on-2, or my favorite, 3-on-3 battles. The 3-on-3 battles can get pretty crazy. But I do think it's a bit unfair that you can bring healing items into online battles, as some people just spend the entirety running away, and if they ever get hit, just use a healing item. There are also offline battles that can be played by yourself or in local multiplayer, and a world tournament mode, both of which were absent from Battle of Z. I couldn't try out the world tournament though, because the offline mode requires a second controller, and the online just told me no. So, you know, whatever. And that's Dragon Ball XenoVerse. If you're a fan of Dragon Ball like I am, then you'll probably have a great time with it. If not, then you're probably doing life wrong. They did almost everything right with the XenoVerse. The story is lighthearted and fun, but epic when it needs to be. The character customization is the best out of any Dragon Ball game. The visuals are pretty, and the music is sexy. Is it the best Dragon Ball game? Nah, that's debatable. Honestly, it makes Battle of Z look like a beta test. Seriously, the online co-op was the only thing worth playing Battle of Z for, and XenoVerse had that plus everything else, and did it much better. And you don't even want to know what it makes Ultimate Tenkaichi look like. Skip those games, play this one. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to make a mix. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, then go ahead and share it with your friends or something, I don't know. And if you just can't get enough of that Dragon Ball, then go ahead and check out Team 4 Star's channel. They're a fine group of sassy Susans. See you next time.